everyone, and welcome to your Artemis Online singing class, where you'll be learning basic techniques required to get a really solid foundation with your singing technique. Hi everyone, my name is Sophie and I'm going to be taking your singing class today. As I said before, what we're going to be looking at in this session are the key fundamentals of your basic singing technique to make sure that you've got a really solid foundation so that you can achieve the best possible sound. Okay? Now, something that's really important before we start singing is our warm-up. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some breathing exercises. So our first exercise that we're going to do is simply breathing in and out. Sounds simple, okay? But the fundamental of this is that we need to make sure that we're breathing from the right place. So rather than just taking little shallow breaths from up here, we're breathing from the very bottom of our lungs and almost filling out this space around your middle, okay? So if you put your hands just right on your middle there, and you take a nice deep breath in, and out, and again, and out. You should feel this middle expanding and there shouldn't really be any movement around your shoulders. They should be really nice and relaxed, okay? So what we're going to do is we'll breathe in for 4 beats, hold for 4 beats, and then out for 4 beats, okay? We'll repeat that twice, and then we're going to add on an extra 2 beats when we breathe out again, okay? So there should be 2 sets of 4 beats, 2 sets of 6 and 8, and so on, okay? So let's give it a go. I'll count you in. 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold it, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, 2, 3, 4. Again, breathe in, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, last set, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe in, last one, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, nice guys, relax. Give your arms a bit of a shake. Lovely. Now the importance of that is that even though you're breathing in for the same amount of time, that every time you breathe out, you're having to control how much air goes out of your body at that time. Okay, so our second exercise is another breathing exercise, but instead of breathing in for controlled 4 beats, we're going to be breathing in for 4 beats and then doing 4 short, sharp exhales to the sound. Can everyone give that a go for me? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lovely. And the reason for this is to help us engage our diaphragm and our core muscles. For those of you who don't know what a diaphragm is, it is the little muscle kind of a bit in the middle of your, in between your belly button and where your ribs sort of start to go back into your body. So if you walk your fingers in there and you tense your muscles, that little muscle that you feel there sort of going is your diaphragm, okay? So if it helps, put your hand there so you can start to feel it engaging, okay? So I'll give an example of the exercise. So you breathe in and okay, so everyone do that with me. So we're going to do 4 sets of those. Okay, so 4 sets of 4. I will be counting along so that you know what you're doing. Okay, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. Last one. 3, 4. Great, well done guys. So you should start to feel a little bit of movement there with your muscles. Next exercise, I want you to imagine that you have the chewiest toffee in your mouth and it has glued your mouth shut, okay? So you're gonna chew, really go for it, really see if you can prise your mouth open with those chewing exercises. So we're all gonna go. I'm gonna go for it. You stretch those muscles. The sillier face you make, the better, I think. Ready? Even more. Good, and then I want you to stretch your mouth as wide as you can and stick your tongue out for me. Ready? Off you go. And then we're gonna scrunch our face up really nice and tight. Lovely. And then stretch it again. And scrunch. Stretch. And scrunch. Last time, stretch. And scrunch. Good, lovely. Give your cheeks a little bit of a rub to warm them up. Sprinkle a bit of magic all over. There's a little around there, around your nose. Around here is really important as well. Just give yourself a nice little massage. Oh, lovely. Good, and then the next exercise I'd really like you to do is we're going to do tongue rotations, okay? So what I'm needing you to do is run your tongue around the inside of your, in between your teeth and your lips, so like this. So I'd like you to do that 4 times one way and 4 times the other way. See if you can beat me. Ready? Off we go. And. Other way, quick. Whew. Makes you a bit out of breath. Well done, those of you who beat me. Nice one. Keep going. I'd rather you got really nice and into all the nooks and crannies to make sure you're really warming your tongue up, okay? And then last but not least, we're going to do some yawns. How does that help us warm up? Well, I'll tell you. When you're yawning, you're at your most relaxed state. So we won't just be doing a normal yawn, we'll be vocalizing that yawn and going all the way from as low as you can sing to as high as you can sing. You don't need to put pressure on yourself. It should just be natural. Don't try and force any of those notes out. It just shows you what your natural range is, okay? So I'll give you a demonstration. All right, off we go. Oh. See if you can do it with me. We're going to do 4, okay? Ready? Off we go. Oh. And another one. Oh. 2 more. Oh. And the last one for me. Oh. Lovely. Okay, and those are some of our exercises. Okay, so now we are going to be doing some vocal exercises. So the first one is really straightforward. We're just going to be running up and down the scale to a vowel sound, okay? So we're going to start off with R. We'll do a couple of those, and then we'll change the vowel to E and then to oo, okay? The really important thing to remember is really open your mouth and drop your jaw, because that's really important for letting that sound out. Because if we just go ooh, oh, there's not going to be as much sound coming out as ah. Okay, so really make sure you open your mouth and let that sound out, okay? So I'll give you an example. It's going to start down here and you're going to go ah. Ready, do that with me? Ah. Good, let's go up to the next one. Ah. Good, next one. Ah. Good, next one. Ah. Good, next one. Let's change this one to an E sound. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. E. Good, next one. E. Good, next one. E. Good. Next one, let's do to an oo sound. So really make it nice, bring it really forward in your placement. So it should be like this. Ooh, like an owl, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, good. Next one. Ooh, and last one. Ooh, lovely, good. So, if you can get up as high as that, do not worry. It's all about just taking it nice and gently. We shouldn't be forcing the sound when we're warming up our voices. This is just for us to get ourselves warm, as it says in a warm-up. Right, the next one, let's go back down to here. The next exercise we're going to do is ha-ha-ha's, okay? So it's almost as if you're laughing, okay? So this next exercise will just be going up and down again, but we're going to a ha-ha-ha sound. So it should sound something like this. Ha-ha-ha-ha-ha, okay? So remember our friend the diaphragm? This is a really good one for getting it engaged whilst you're singing, okay? And don't be forgetting, we're breathing from the bottom of our lungs whenever we breathe in, okay? So nice deep breath when you breathe in to sing. Okay, ready? Let's give it a go, see what happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Let's go up to the next one. 2, 3, 4. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Next 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Next 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Next 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Last 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha, 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 ha. Lovely. Good. And then the last one, which one of my favourites, is quite silly, is that I want you to imagine that you're on the playground, you're playing tag or 40-40 or whatever the game is that you guys play when you're out on the playground, and someone almost catches you but they just miss you, and you're going to turn around to them and you're going to go nha, 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 nha. And I want you to make it really nice and twangy, as if it's sort of resonating all up here and it's right up in your cheeks. Can everyone do that for me? Nha, 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 nha. Lovely. So let's start down here, and every time I go next, we're going to go up a level, okay? Right, let's give this a go, shall we? Right here. Nha, 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 nha. Next one. 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 Nha, 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 nha. Last one. Nha, 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 nha. Lovely. And guys, that is your warm-up. Okay, so now we've got the warm-up out the way, let's get down to the really interesting stuff, which is the fundamental techniques that we need to use to create a really strong foundation for our singing voice, okay? Now, the first one is all about breathing, as I spoke about a little bit earlier in the warm-up. Now, obviously, breathing is a natural thing that you need to do to be able to sing, but a lot of people forget that you need to be controlling your voice using your core muscles, okay? It's all really important. All these little layers are built up to make that really strong voice. So, as I said before, we need to make sure we're really breathing from the bottom of our lungs to give us that control that we need to get our voices to sing nice and loud, okay? And to let that sound out and have control over that sound, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few lines from the chorus of Without Love from Hairspray, okay? And I'm going to show you the difference between shallow breathing, which is what some people do when they breathe from their chest here, and we get a lot of tension, and what happens when we breathe from here, to show the difference between the control that we have over our voices, okay? So the first section, here is an example of how it should sound with really engaged breathing, okay? Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is rock and roll without a drummer. Okay, so the really important thing to remember with that is that you are breathing from here. There shouldn't really be any movement in your shoulders. It should be really nice and relaxed, because if we breathe from our chest, we've got all this tension around here, and it really stops us, and it causes a bit of what we like to call restriction. So it basically causes our muscles to go like this, ah! And it means that our vocal cords can't work properly. So we've got to make sure we're really nice and relaxed. And another thing that comes into is posture, okay? So thinking our shoulders are really nice and relaxed and down. We're thinking really tall, as if we've got a piece of string coming out the top of our head and pulling us up, okay? But we've got to keep nice and relaxed, all right? So what I'd like us to do is we're going to take 4 beats to breathe in from the bottom of our lungs to really focus on utilising that breath. And then we're going to try and sing that first line, okay? Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer, okay? So I'll count you in. We're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3. Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. How did we do? Did anyone have to take a little bit of a breath in between? Totally fine if you did, but it just means that we've really got to focus on breathing in and making sure that we can control that sound as it comes out. You should only be letting a little bit out at a time. Okay, let's try it one more time. Ready? Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. How do we get on? Good? Amazing. Let's try and see if we can take a breath in between each sentence, okay? So we've got without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is rock and roll without a drummer, okay? We're going to take a breath in between each sentence, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is rock and roll without a drummer. Okay, how do we get on? Some people need to take a bit of a breath. What's really important is that even if you have a little bit of time, only a short amount of time to take a quick breath, should still be that openness down here, not breathing from up here, okay? So if it helps, put your hands on your stomach to really feel that difference, okay? So breath control is really important, okay? And posture as well, as I've just spoken about, really thinking that we're thinking up and making sure that it's all in a nice straight line, because if we were all bent over like this, the sound isn't going to be as good, okay? So, shoulders back, breathing in 1, 2, 3. Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is rock and roll without a drummer. Good. See, I took a cheeky breath somewhere else, not where I was supposed to. Interesting. So, the next thing that we need to remember is when you're going up to those high notes, some people go, oh, high notes, and their voice just goes, ah, and their vocal cords tense, their muscles tense up, so it means their vocal cords can't work. One thing that I always find is really helpful is when you're thinking of going up to those notes, you've almost got to think in the opposite direction, as if you're grounding yourself. So like your voice is a bit of a pulley system. So when you're going up to high notes, you've almost got to imagine you're going down, okay? So thinking down to go up, so to speak. So let's take, for example, the very end section of that chorus. Without love. Yeah, so it's a bit jumpy. So what we've got to make sure we do is we're thinking down to really get up to those notes, and almost imagine you're slam dunking that top note. Okay, so making sure that you're almost hitting that note from above rather than reaching up to it. Okay, so let's all just give it a go. Take it nice and slowly. Nice deep breath in. We're just going to breathe in for 4, and then we're going to do that section. Okay, ready? Breathe in 1, 2, 3. Without love. Good. One more thing that we can really focus on when we're singing that section is supporting those notes as we go up, okay? Because if you just went for it and there wasn't any sort of support mechanism underneath, we'd be all over the place. We'd be all loosey-goosey and flying around all over the place. So what we need to remember is we need to give ourselves a little bit of support in our core muscles, okay? So that means put your hands on your waist and just squeezing and tensing your core muscles a little bit, keeping it nice and relaxed up here, keeping those shoulders down. And you're just going to squeeze to give yourself a little bit of a boost up, okay? Almost imagine if your mate is trying to get over a brick wall and you put your hands like that to give them a boost with their foot, okay? Using your hands to help them up. That is what your core muscles are doing for your voice, okay? So with that last section again, remember we're thinking down to go up, but we're also giving it a bit of a squeeze, almost just giving yourself a bit of a rocket boost up there, okay? So let's give it a go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Without love. Good. And if you also notice my eyebrows raise a little bit, that means I'm placing the sound all up in my head voice, okay, which is all up here. So it's rattling around up here, the sound. So you shouldn't be reaching for it. You should be thinking down for those notes. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Without love. Good. Lovely. So with that in mind, let's try the whole chorus together, okay? Let's do it all together. I'll be counting and making sure you know what you're doing, and I'll sing it along with you. Okay, ready? So we're going to go without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is like a roll without a drummer. I'll be yours forever because I'm never going to be without love. and so on. Okay, let's give it a go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Without love, life is like the seasons with no summer. Without love, life is rock and roll without a drummer. I'll be yours forever, 'cause I never wanna be without love. How do we get on? Good? Fabulous. Well, guys, just so we know, we've got those 4 fundamentals of really good singing technique there. I will be going over these next session, and we'll be carrying on and adding a few little extra bits as well. But really great job. I'm really impressed with how you've all done, and I'll see you next week. Bye.